Okay, we have head coach Mike Leach, and he wants to go right straight to questions. Who would like to lead us off? Right here, coach, to your left, front row.
Hey, Coach. Nick Niehaus, WABT TV in Jackson, Mississippi. 3 quarterbacks on your roster, all 3 from Mississippi. Is there some kind of quality that you're finding from these guys from the Magnolia State that you really like?
Well, they have great football. You know, Mississippi's got great football. The whole state does, and a lot of enthusiasm around it. And so, and then of course, you know, starting out recruiting, I'd say most of our players are, you know, from relatively close, within 4 hours or so, and then branch out from there. But I think a pretty good combination. You know, in that 4.5 hour radius, we've gotten some pretty good guys, and then I've also gotten, you know, some guys that really have an interest in what we're doing in our program from a long ways away that, you know, are involved too. So that's, yeah, it's been pretty good. We got some guys from Florida, California, and Texas, and spots in between. And so, but anybody excited about what we're doing, we're excited to look at them, you know.
Coach, to your left, second row.
Coach Ryan Hennessy, NBC 13 here in Birmingham. Some sad news coming out today about head coach Bobby Bowden, and he means a lot to this community here in Birmingham. I want to know what your thoughts are on what Bobby means to the coaching community in general, and what he meant to you as a coach, kind of looking up to him in a way.
I first became aware of Coach Bowden when, well, first of all, he's a great person, great example to everybody, and has a great family, and you know, was never afraid to kind of share himself, you know, both kind of spiritually, wisdom-wise, anything. You know, he's like, you know, just kind of gave to everybody, I felt like, and I was lucky enough to know him. And so, you know, but I remember when I was in junior high, I loved watching his teams play because they threw it before other people were throwing it very much, and it was as they were emerging, you know, as he was building the program, they would, you know, somebody's supposed to get after, you know, Florida State, and you know, and they'd have these big upsets and things like that, and then by the time I was at Valdosta State, you know, they were 1 or 2 in the country every year, and you know, just a great guy, and he's one of those guys that that really made you want to coach, wanted to be a coach, wanted to be a part of you know, what he was doing, and wanted to you know, great example on how to do it well, but then also, you know, just a complete person along with all that. So yeah, it was I feel very honored to you know, the time that I've had to spend with him.
Coach would like to go to your right on the second row.
Coach Tyler Shaw with KBTX in College Station. Just curious, your thoughts on coming back to Kyle Field this year. I know a place that you're familiar with your days at Tech.
Thrilled to come back to Kyle Field. You know, I think it's one of the greatest places in America to play. You know, just the environment and the magnitude of people and enthusiasm there and their traditions. Always like coming to Kyle Field and look forward to it this year. And we had some great games, you know, in Kyle Field over the years.
Coach, to your left on the front row.
Hey, Coach. Jack Abraham is someone who obviously put up a lot of big numbers at Southern Miss. What kind of caught your eye with him when you realized he was in the transfer portal and everything?
The ball comes off his hand quick. He's accurate. The other thing, I did think he elevated the players around him. And then, you know, I think pretty good pocket awareness. And then the other thing, we were looking for both depth and experience. And you know, and he's the most experienced quarterback we have on our team right now. And then, of course, those guys will battle it out and fight it out, and we'll see what happens.
And also, if I could follow up, Conference USA to SEC, it's obviously a big step up in level of competition, even in, you know, just practice in the spring. How's he kind of responded to that level up?
Well, I thought he looked good. I thought he looked very good. I thought he had a good spring, and you know, he got better as time went on. You know,
Coach, to your right on the third row.
Coach, you got a chance to play against Mike Elko and Texas A&M's defense last year. When you look at Coach Elko and what he brings from his defensive coordinator position, what makes his defense so unique and tough to go against?
I don't think it's unique as much as it's just really sound. I think very sound defense. Like guys aren't out of position. Guys are where they're supposed to be. They play hard. And it's one of the highest compliments I can give somebody is that they're very sound, and that's what I think is really strong with them.
Coach, to your left, second row.
Hey, Coach. Jacques Doucet, WAFB-TV. Austin Williams was in here a while ago and said when you guys go see movies on Friday night, you stay to the end and watch the credits. Is that something we should all appreciate a little bit more?
I do watch the credits, and it's not to get, occasionally they try to ambush you with one extra quick little thing, and I don't get ambushed, and so, but that's not really the reason. I'll be honest with you. One of the big reasons that I watch the credits is I'm always curious where they filmed it, and I'm kind of obsessive about where they filmed it, and so that's one of the things I'm waiting for, and then and who was in it, and occasionally I can remember it's familiar with their work or something like that, but I'm a big where they filmed it guy. A little bit. I'll look at that, and occasionally there'll be a song or something that I'll try to figure out what it is, or there'll be somebody does a song but you're not sure who did it, and so I'll try to sort that some too. You got to be quick with your eyes though, because that soundtrack stuff they go sideways. Here, try to read them both at the same time. We're going real fast.
Coach, we will go to your right on the back row.
Eric Kane, the sports animal of VolQuest.com. Javonte Payton left for Tennessee this offseason. What is Tennessee getting in Javonte Payton, and what type of wide receiver is he, and how will he succeed in that offense? I
don't really know. I mean, I just talk about guys on our team, So, we'll let the volunteers handle that.
Back to your left on the front row.
Is that me? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Yes.
Okay. Coach, so Austin Williams also said that implementing the air raid this year after going through it a whole season, it's kind of easier, obviously. They're not learning as much. They're just being told where to go in the moment, and they're picking it up a lot better. Have you noticed that it's gotten a lot smoother than it did that first year? Obviously, COVID and no spring ball, it hurt that. How much smoother has it looked in practice?
Well, in spring, it definitely has. Instead of everybody thinking about things, it's more automatic. They get where they're supposed to be quicker and more precisely, which synchronizes things. And as that happens, it elevates the execution. We still got a ways to go, no question, but it was a big improvement from the season.
And then just following up with the movie question, do you have a handful of go-to movies that your favorites?
Favorite movies? I mean, I got a bunch of favorite movies. Some really good ones. Rio Bravo, A Sting. Everybody likes Citizen Kane, and I like Citizen Kane. Anything by Alfred Hitchcock. I would say Psycho and Rear Window would be my favorites. Oh, the Rope's good too. And then I'll tell you one that you don't hear them talk about or see so much anymore is Where Eagles Dare was a great movie, all-star cast, that type of thing. And then and a lot of all-star cast ones really aren't very good. Well, because there's not enough space for everybody. You try, by the time you have space for this hot shot, space for this hot shot, space for, well, then there's no plot because all there is these, And Fargo's a great movie. Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid, Outlaw Josie Wales. There's a bunch. I could be your old. A Wonderful Life is a tremendous movie. Pretty much anything by Frank Capra is a great movie. The best one I've seen this year, it's got Better Call Saul in it, and it's called Nobody. Nobody, yeah. That's the best one I've seen this year. I mean, and we've been on kind of a drought this year, in my humble opinion. Besides, there's not so many. I mean,
Coach, we have time for 2 questions. We'll go in the back on your right, and then we'll come to the front row.
He wants to talk about something other than movies, so he hated all those movies. All right, go ahead.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that. I could talk movies all day. You know, the name, image, likeness things already happened July 1st, and then there's so much talk about, you know, expanding the playoff 12. I heard in there you said, you know, you're a proponent of 64. Just with college football changing so much and seemingly by the week, and how do you, is that something you like, dislike, how much the game seems to be changing this offseason?
I think, no, I'd like it to settle down a little bit. And because there's just a lot of things you got to wait and see where the dust settles on it, you know. I mean, and I guess earlier in my career, I mean, I'd chase around memos and guess and speculate and, you know, grab the newspaper and, ooh, they said this, they might do that. Well, maybe they will, maybe they won't, they might, you know. That drove me crazy. I mean, after a while, I stopped doing that. I just wait till they finalize it. And some of the name, image, and likeness stuff, the dust is going to settle somewhere, and we'll see where it is. I think you've got to guard against it being a bidding war, because if it's a bidding war, it'll really damage college football. You know, like as far as an amount or something, I don't care what the amount is, as long as it's not a bidding war. Yeah, they're just observations. I mean, as we progress, well, this is what professionals do, this is what the NFL does, and the rest. I mean, you know, this is kind of the fun stuff, the more beneficial stuff. You know, other things that could be around the corner, you know, if you keep going down this path, is, you know, draft. You know, guys getting drafted instead of recruited, guys getting traded, guys getting cut, you know, and keep in mind, they do this in baseball, minor league and major league baseball, you know, you know, the parents, you know, hug their son and, you know, he's got him a new TV and, you know, some school clothes and pulls into his dorm and, you know, kind of a tearful departure and, you know, pretty soon a guy comes running up to him and says, hey, he says, yeah, hey, I got some bad news. Yeah, you've been traded. You're going to, say, San Jose. And they're going to need you. They're going to need you in 2 days. And by the way, I'm going to need this room by tomorrow morning. So, I mean, you know, there's a lot of dimension to a lot of this. And then one thing that I think would be helpful, a friend and I were talking about this, and you know, and he had, he had a great initial idea, and then we kind of talked about it more. And you know, the thing is I think we don't want to discourage people from getting degrees. I think it's false that, you know, everybody acts like football players don't want degrees. Almost every football player I know definitely wants a degree. You know, it's not just they want degrees, okay? And so I think you know, you want guys to graduate and get degrees, and then this portal is proven to be fool's gold. Is what's the number? 1,100 are out in the cold right now. You know, they'll be selling big gulps or whatever. Hopefully finishing school somewhere, I hope, you know, but certainly would have, in a lot of cases, probably wish they'd rethought that decision, and so I think that there's got to be an encouragement to stay, you know, at the school you sign with, and what if we were to give $150,000 to the guy comes in, $150,000 when you graduate. when you graduate. You get your scholarship and all that, but you get an additional $150,000 when you graduate. Okay, people are going to be, one, they're going to graduate. I mean, they're going to be a lot more inclined to graduate. And then the other thing is if you transfer, you don't get the $150,000. You get the $150,000 if you're at the school you signed with. And then I think that, in a positive way, as long as we're talking about distributing money, the guys are inclined to stay at the school, graduate, and not transfer. And I think, and I'm sure, there could definitely be some holes in this idea in theory, and it's it's just a starting point. But I think something like that may be something to think about.
Our final question, Coach, right here, front row on the right.
Hey, Coach. Kate Thomas, WFB TV Baton Rouge. Do you feel like the NFL is becoming more open to air raid quarterbacks, especially with the success of guys like Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes? And then also, I want to know what you think about the fashion style of everyone here at SEC Media Days.
The fashion what?
Just everybody's fashion that they have, the different looks. But the first on the air raid.
Well, the air raid's been around the NFL for a long, long time, and a lot longer than some people think. Some of these guys, I'm going to toss them a pen and say, "Here, draw up what you're talking about," and they'll run from that pen like it's a rattlesnake. I guarantee you. But it's been around. Concepts like that have been around the NFL. We're probably getting pretty close to 20 years. Certainly 10. The last 10 Super Bowls, both teams have ran some form of air raid concepts, and they may have not have gotten it from the air raid specifically, but it was stuff that's like that, utilizing the personnel, attacking the space, and so there's been quarterbacks like there for quite some time. I think one thing that created so many quarterbacks as they started having the 7-on-7 leagues. As the 7-on-7 leagues took off and different states would have the tournaments and 7-on-7, I think it developed a lot of quarterbacks and receivers. And so I think that, that definitely contributed to things. But, the New England Patriots, how many Super Bowls, air raid concepts, and then I guess I was a little conscious because two of my guys played, Danny Amendola and Wes Welker, both played for New England, had another guy too. But anyway, I think it's been around for quite a while. And then the other thing is, in my case, it's a byproduct of, just watching football all the time, studying film and, copying, and then maybe adjusting and putting our own twist on it. And so, that's gone on since football started. Like everybody thinks they're just throwing it now. They just started throwing it now. Wow, they've been doing it for about 25 years, and everybody's just listened to too many people that said they're not throwing it very much. If you think they're not throwing it, ask Alabama if they threw it at all last year. And then, you go clear back to Sammy Baugh. Sammy Baugh threw the ball a lot, So that's why they called him Slinging Sammy Baugh. Anyway, that's it for
Coach, thank you. You've been very gracious with your time, voluminous with your answers, and nobody's done a finer job than you in here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I don't always get an illuminous. That's a good one. You're going to have to talk to my wife. Tell her that I'm a luminous.
Don't let you go. I have a vocabulary.
All right, thanks.